convention. That's the final point.
Well, that's not how it works. I don't even know how it works. But I'm telling you right now that the race will change between now, I think, and Super Tuesday, and it needs to, because there is no, there are sort of four candidates now, excuse me, four candidates dividing up vote, and you know, no matter what happens, if you go to the convention and there is not a majority for one candidate of those delegates, then the rules are crystal clear. You have another ballot, you have another vote. Those are the rules. And 4 years ago, Bernie Sanders supported the rules on the other side of that coin.
Right.
So I think that, you know, can't just be flipping it for convenience. Rules matter. The rules of the party make it clear that you will vote until a majority of delegates have decided who the nominee is.
Secretary Kerry, we certainly appreciate you taking the time this morning. Thanks for coming in.
Good to be with you. Thank you, Ed. Take care.
Right now, in a D.C. courtroom, Roger Stone is about to learn his fate. Sentencing now underway for the former friend and confidant of President Trump. We're going to bring you that sentence live as soon as it comes down. Plus, the debate within the debate last night between Bernie and the billionaire over democratic socialism versus capitalism. We're going to talk to money man Charles Payne.
Chance of the senator beating President Trump. I don't think there's any chance whatsoever.
For those who know, the finish line is only the beginning. Meet the refined Cadillac CT5. Others talk about the road to success. We make cars for it.
Do you have a life insurance policy you no longer need? Now you can sell your policy, even a term policy, for an immediate cash payment.
We thought we had planned carefully for our retirement.
But we quickly realized we needed a way to supplement our income.
We sold our policy. Now we can relax and enjoy our retirement as we had planned.
If you have $100,000 or more of life insurance, you may be a candidate to sell your policy. Call 1-800-515-4100 or visit CoventryDirect.com.
And we're going to need 500 more units pronto.
We don't have that kind of money right now, Carl.
You will in 10 minutes. That's how long it will take you to get funding through Cabbage. I know. I'm 10 minutes in the future spokes guy.
What's happening?
And I'm 10 days in the future spokes guy. That Cabbage funding helped you win the Gundlefinger account. Congratulations.
What's a Gundlefinger?
And I'm from 10 years in the future.
Cabbage. Business funding in as little as 10 minutes.
What'd I miss?
It can be devastating when you learn that the person who gave you a home now can't go back to theirs.
It's not as squeaky now. We're going to go back and forth between Fox and CNN and see what the differences in the coverage is
where the cruise ship was.
of the Roger Stone trial.
About the circumstances
Or sorry, the sentencing. Well, what do you know?
Sad news, exactly, Jim,
CNN is not talking about Trump at the moment. That is 2 days in a row I've tuned into CNN, and they have not been discussing Trump 24/7.
Case of this illness. Japanese government is allowing hundreds of people to walk off the ship with a clean bill of health if they test negative, despite warnings from an infectious disease expert who visited the Diamond Princess on Tuesday, saying that situation on board
Roger Stone sentencing coming down, and
can basically go anywhere. They can get in a taxi.
I just love the difference in the coverages between CNN and Fox.
We know that of the new cases that
So
Japan
this is
has reported
CNN, they're
today,
not
one of them
talking
was
about
a
it. Yep.
taxi driver. Two other cases, healthcare
This is
workers on the ship.
Fox, and we'll get to it as soon as it comes down.
Less painful way.
I used to find car shopping painful too, but then I found Car Gurus. It was so easy for me to be very specific about what I wanted. And then Car Gurus showed me how good of a deal I could get. Or not. Once I saw the dealer had a 5-star rating, I was on my way. This is my car, and that's my deal.
Go to Car Gurus today to find great deals from top-rated dealers near you.
In the last year, there were 3 victims of cybercrime.
Over-medicated with coffee today. Oh. Back to CNN. Let's see what they got here.
That's a live picture outside the courthouse. We're getting news inside there. The judge, as she's getting ready to sentence Roger Stone, saying She agrees that the sentencing recommendation should be higher because of the threats that Roger Stone made. That, of course, at the core of this case. We're going to bring you all the developments. Please stay with us.
In America, we all count, no matter where we call home, how we worship, or who we love. And the 2020 census is how that great promise is kept. Because this is the count that informs where hundreds of billions in funding will go each year for things like education, healthcare, and programs that touch us all. Shape your future. Start here. Learn more at 2020census.gov.
Managing type 2 diabetes? Audrey's on it. Eating right and staying active?
On it.
Audrey thinks she's doing all she can to manage her type 2 diabetes and heart disease, but is her treatment doing enough to lower her heart risk? Maybe not. Jardiance can reduce the risk of cardiovascular death for adults who also have known heart disease, so it could help save your life from a heart attack or stroke. And it lowers A1C.
Jardiance can cause serious side effects, including dehydration, genital yeast or urinary tract infections, and sudden kidney problems. Ketoacidosis is a serious side effect that may be fatal. A rare but life-threatening bacterial infection in the skin of the perineum could occur. Stop taking Jardiance and call your doctor right away if you have symptoms of this bacterial infection, ketoacidosis, or an allergic reaction. And don't take it if you're on dialysis or have severe kidney problems. Taking Jardiance with the sulfonylurea or insulin may cause low blood sugar.
Lower A1C and lower risk of a fatal heart attack?
On it with Jardiance.
Ask your doctor about Jardiance.
If you have moderate to severe psoriasis, little things can become your big moment. That's why there's Otezla. Otezla is not a cream. It's a pill that treats plaque psoriasis differently. With Otezla, 75% clearer skin is achievable. Don't use if you're allergic to Otezla. It may cause severe diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting. Otezla is associated with an increased risk of depression. Tell your doctor if you have a history of depression or suicidal thoughts, or if these feelings develop. Some people taking Otezla reported weight loss. Your doctor should monitor your weight and may stop treatment. Upper respiratory tract infection and headache may occur. Tell your doctor about your medicines and if you're pregnant or planning to be. Otezla, show more of you.
This is cellulose acetate, a plant-based material that's not only extremely durable, but also quite flexible, making it ideal for Warby Parker glasses, which, by the way, start at $95, including prescription lenses. Try 5 pairs for free at warbyparker.com. Oh yeah, about those prescription lenses. Warby Parker glasses come standard with custom-cut polycarbonate lenses that have been treated with scratch resistant and anti-reflective coatings.
Been flipping back and forth between
Try 5 pairs for free at
Fox and CNN. Just the differences in the coverages and the news.
Bloomberg just released his war on Wall Street this week. You know,
incredible.
An 11-page, in-depth approach on how he's going to
Bloomberg
attack
rips it up last night,
capitalism.
going straight for Bernie.
He's got a $5 trillion tax plan out there. So Bloomberg, you know,
I love it. Buying your way to the candidacy of the presidential election. So Roger Stone coming up, like you see in the description. He's going to switch back and forth between Fox and CNN. This is the second time in 2 days that I've tuned into CNN, and I have not seen a 24/7 Trump. Today was another example of that. Surprisingly, for months, maybe even years, every time I tune into CNN, it's just Trump, 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 Trump. Orange man bad, orange man bad. How do you like my new cards? Branding of Coldwell Banker, Realty, Momentum, Brokerage is complete. And Oria's in town next week for whatever it is that they're doing in Niagara Falls. Our new branding will be front and center on that. So, again, Roger Stone, sentencing is coming down. It's incredible to me to see the bias between, especially CNN. The foreperson in this jury is obviously a Democrat. Many of the jurors worked for Obama in the administration, tweeting things derogatory to Trump, which makes you a biased juror, and they should be dismissed. And so if he's not granted a new trial at some point. I think that he will be pardoned by President Trump. And as Gavin McInnes puts it, he was caught lying to the FBI, and the FBI said, "Did you get an email from Julian Assange?" And he said no, and they had proof that he did, and they said, "Gotcha." And that's what this is all about. And I believe it was in the context of this fake investigation, this this hoax, as Trump puts it, a witch hunt into Russiagate, Ukrainegate, whatever it was. Apparently, Roger Stone wanted Assange to release the email. Was he the one that dropped the email? Just like many people did. And he was convicted of lying and tampering. And here we go. Back to CNN. And these fucking blowhards.
What's going on inside court here?
The liberals all have TDS.
For that, our experts back with us. Jennifer Rogers, what should we make of this?
Experts.
Well, what's happening is the judge is calculating the sentencing
Experts
guidelines,
in
right? That's
hate.
the first thing the judge does. So what they're arguing about
The
is
critics
where
of
the
Trump
guidelines range is set.
don't, they fail to become aware to the presence of their own hate. They hear what Trump speaks. And I put up a clip on Twitter yesterday of Trump before he was entering into the presidential debates in 2016. The question was, what about your language and your Twitter account? You calling women dogs and everything like that. And he's only Rosie O'Donnell. He totally flipped it. And then said, basically, one of our biggest problems in the States is political correctness. Amen. I am surprised that I'm coming around on Trump as much as I am. I certainly want to give myself credit for having an open enough mind to give him the space to fail or to do well, and to give him props for whatever. I mean, he's done some good work on the immigration file, no? Illegal immigration's down 75% in the States. Hundreds of thousands of illegal aliens coming across the southern border. And we have always had an immigration problem in the States. Even under Obama, we had cages, but nobody was talking about this very serious issue of illegal immigration until Trump came in. So God bless Trump. At least we're talking about some of these things now. But he comes in saying, I'm going to build a wall. And that's, for whatever reason, very controversial, but it sparked the conversation. And I think the conversation is long overdue and much needed. So I think we're having many conversations that we just weren't having under Obama. So if nothing else, I think he's stimulating conversation, and I think he's a comedy industry all unto himself. Former FBI special agent. Yeah, okay. Let's see what Fox has got. They're probably in commercial. Seems like they're flipping back
So we
and forth.
reimagine comfort through fabric, fit, and function.
Okay, so back to CNN, and we're just waiting on the Roger Stone verdict, and I expect that he will be pardoned by Trump. And who's what's the guy's name? I got a clip going up of his speech. President Trump pardoned a guy a couple days ago. He was a former Democratic governor, and the guy called himself a Trumpocrat, which means still Democrat, but a Trump supporter. And this Bill Barr thing that they're just perpetuating a false narrative, Bill Barr is not threatening to step down. Bill Barr is, probably frustrated by Trump's tweets. He's not going to quit the DOJ because of Trump's tweets. These guys are just running with it. Any little story that they can get to confirm Orange Man bad, they take it.
Attorney General is upset. He's angry. He didn't know the president before this.
Thursday Night Live is coming up tonight. Just me. 7 o'clock, 7 p.m. EST. We're going to have some music. We're going to talk about the Roger Stone sentencing. We're going to talk a little bit about Trump, as well, everyone's talking about it, so it includes me. I'm intensely passionate about politics and been somehow
set the narrative the way it is.
lulled into American politics. I've been drag kicking and screaming into it. I was never a fan of American politics.
It is significant. It continues
I was too busy watching municipal, regional, provincial, and federal here in Canada to even care about it, but now Trump has completely turned me on to American politics. Fascinated by it. Fascinated by the primaries.
Harvey Weinstein and his attorneys arriving here at criminal court this morning.
Check out this fucking guy.
Every single day of his trial for these 20
Poor
days.
Harvey.
7 men and 5 women must decide if the prosecution proved beyond reasonable doubt that Weinstein raped a woman in a Manhattan hotel room in 2013 and assaulted another woman in 2006. The jury this week asking to review plenty
What's
of
with the
evidence from
friggin'
blueprints
beard?
to emails and testimony.
Yeah, look. Yeah, don't get a haircut. Loosen that tie. Look like a bum on the street. Look like a, a handicapped person. What do you call it? Physically disadvantaged person, because that plays better with the jury.
13 hours now that they've been deliberating, and we'll have more throughout the day. Ed?
Stay on top of it. Alex Hogan,
Thanks,
thank
Alex.
you.
The Trump administration ramping up its high-pressure campaign against Iran. We'll have much more.
More sanctions coming on with Iran. Foreign policy, which I didn't think was Trump's strong point, seems to be doing really well. I mean,
the world would listen.
Walked across the DMZ with Kim Jong-un.
There are dangerous forces everywhere pulling our country apart.
I like the way he's handling China. I think he probably let him off too easy with the trade deal, but he got a $200 billion trade deal over a couple of years. I have hair again. I don't know if you can see the back of my head now, but this is the new set. This is how it's going to look.
We reveal the deepest, darkest, scariest season. Are you ready?
All new season of Ghost Adventures starts next Thursday at 9 on Travel Channel, and stream a sneak peek on Travel
I'm
Channel.
going to need a haircut soon, and my boy Danny over at, what's his barbershop called?
It's a reminder of your struggles with psoriasis.
Blackbeards? Yeah, Blackbeards.
But what if your psoriasis symptoms
Has agreed to take me back because I've been bald for a year.
That's why there's Illumia.
And I asked him, now that I've got 4 or 5 weeks growth on my head, and I'm going to need a trim soon, if he would take me back. And he said, gladly, brother. So, going back and forth, it looks like we've got commercials on both channels. 7 p.m. tonight. Jim Fannon Show goes live. 7 p.m. every Thursday. We're live. I'm going to get into my men's group a little bit tonight. Talk to you a little bit about my boys. The Liminal Order, Jack Murphy, working on him for an interview. I saw him on Tim Pool's new YouTube channel, IRL. What's that? In Real Life? I like the IRL channel because he's talking about some of the same issues that he normally talks about, but with a guest in long form. He's going a couple hours on some issues. Tim Pool is a lefty. He's still a lefty. I consider myself a lefty, even though many of the issues I really care about now are supported by the right, the conservatives. Free speech, guns, strong immigration. With the left has gone so radically far off the deep end, they're talking about no borders, no walls, no USA at all, no ICE, no DOJ. Like, just, empty the jails, tear down the walls. We don't need any border security. What are you? Fools, that's what you are. So as a former lefty, I appreciate a guy like Tim Pool, who's still kind of a lefty, but is objective enough to say this is good, this is bad when it comes to Trump or the Democratic leadership, or lack thereof. Democrats are in trouble, man. I think they're going to be in the wilderness for 40 years. I think they've gone so far left, and they put so much stock in people like Bernie Sanders and AOC and the Squad that they're turning off traditional liberal voters who are moderate. Many of them are moderate in the middle, and you forget how many of us center-right or center-left people actually agree on things and talk about division. I've never experienced so much division between men and women and between the political left and right. So Tim Pool gets a lot of time from me. He talks about the topical issues that I care about, and he's objective enough to call it straight, and I like that. Even if he comes with a left-wing bias, which I appreciate. What do we got?
Hello, everyone. I'm Kate Baldwin. Thank you so much for joining me. We are starting this hour with breaking news, and it sounds like it might be a wild ride this morning yet again. A federal judge will be sentencing longtime Trump associate Roger Stone any minute now. The hearing is underway as we speak in D.C. You can see a shot there from outside the courthouse. At the same time, the possibility that President Trump could pardon Stone looms very large over this entire thing. A jury convicted Roger Stone.
Get me Roger Stone. Roger Stone's done some
and threatening a witness.
amazingly horrible things in his
all
political
related
career.
to his efforts to contact WikiLeaks and help the Trump campaign in 20.
WikiLeaks, that's it. Was that Assange? I don't think that what they've got him on is... I think it was rigged. Completely rigged.
Today, the president has attacked the prosecutors publicly from his own Justice Department.
Trump is the most unpresidential
the jury foreman
president that this country's ever known.
And don't forget, Attorney
And I
General
say
Bill
this country when I mean the States.
intervened in that shocking
And he
way
is
to
the most
reduce the
anti-establishment
initial
guy
sentencing recommendation coming from
ever
the
sit in that
Justice
seat, I
Department,
think, which goes a long way. And he doesn't give a rat's ass about anyone. I like anyone that goes like this to the establishment.
Yes, that's just the background.
He
We are
doesn't
still
care,
waiting for
man.
exactly what's gonna be
He doesn't
coming
care what
any
you
minute
think,
now.
what anyone thinks, and he's going to do what he thinks is
Outside
right.
the courthouse is CNN Sarah Murray.
Props to him, whether you agree with him or not. That's awesome.
Good morning, Kate. Well, this is ongoing. The judge has not handed down Roger Stone's sentence yet, but there's pretty remarkable activity.
Let's see what Fox has got. Oh, we're already on CNN. Okay, so.
It never gets old. I'm Julie Banderas in for Sandra Smith. Good morning to you. So the gloves were definitely off in Las Vegas last night with Bloomberg facing attacks from all sides.
Bloomberg went after
Elizabeth Warren
Bernie,
starting things right off just
mad.
minutes into the debate, but others quickly joined in.
They're all going after Bernie. Poor Bernie's going to get hosed again. He's going to have his nomination ripped from him by the DNC.
And horse-faced lesbians. And
Oh, go Elizabeth.
Oh,
whoa.
Obamacare. At the beginning,
the mayor said
Elizabeth's weak. Joe's weak.
signature piece of this administration,
Bernie's
it's a
on his
disgrace.
deathbed.
They're the
If his heart
exact
doesn't
words.
explode before the
It was a
election, I'd be
disgrace.
surprised.
We talked about stop and frisk, and we talked about
Oh, and he's a Jew. How Jewish are you? Not very. He's a convenient Jew.
maybe we should also ask how Mayor Bloomberg
But he always talks like one.
supported George
I got,
W. Bush.
my Bernie impersonation's not that good. I'm working. I'm not working. I'm working on my impersonation right now. Bernie right now.
Politics editor. You know, Chris, we often talk, and you see people in the media really build up a hype.
Get me Roger Stone. You ever seen the movie? If you've never seen it, I didn't know who Roger Stone was until a few months ago.
Sometimes it maybe doesn't deliver.
What a fascinating operator. What do you call him?
Like reality television. It was a sordid,
Operative?
ugly
Political?
affair,
What do you
in
call
which
it?
there were
Operative, yeah, I don't know.
vendettas, in which there were ugly personal attacks,
The Dems
insults.
debut. Bloomberg hits the Dem at his debate debut.
Sarah's going to be bringing us updates as soon as they come. She'll be bringing us the breaking news. Let me get over at the same time while we wait to CNN Shimon Prokupecz.
Milo has written a book about the
what's your reaction to these updates?
Roger Stone
So
trial,
just to note, the judge is kind of going through some calculations right now. We're
and he's
getting
written
notes from inside the court. So
4
it's
different
gonna be a
endings
moment
depending on the
before we
sentence.
get the sentence. But what we're seeing
He's
here, we've all
genius.
been waiting to hear from Judge Jackson, and we have. And I just want to read something that she just briefly said a short time ago. In talking about a harsher sentence for Roger Stone and how she says it should apply here because of the intimidation and the threats. And so she explains this. She says, I
CNN is
suppose that I
so
could say
freaking
Roger
biased. It's
Stone didn't intend to hurt
unreal.
me. This is, of course, the
They don't
threats,
see the Trump inside them,
social
these
media
far
that
left
Roger Stone
liberals.
posted again. So, and just say that it's just classic badge.
They don't see that they're casting their own hate right back at Trump when they feel like he's throwing out the hate. They're sending it right back to him, i.e. Madonna. Women's March. Madonna stands at that lectern, says, I think about bombing the White House every day, and she doesn't get that she's given Trump's bullshit right fucking back. She is Trump. She's being Trump in that moment, and she doesn't even get it.
She then says this is the key line here. She says this is intolerable to the administration of justice. The court should not sit idly by.
The courts are
shrug
so
its shoulder
fucking
and
far
say
left,
that's
it's
just Roger,
unreal.
Roger. That's the judge. And we've been waiting to hear from her. So we
And
now
that's
know.
and that's the judge, Shimon, but that's also.
And I wonder if YouTube's going to shut me down for this. Isn't broadcasting a network while I comment over top of it a new creative creation? Creative creation? A new creative entity? A new creative product? I should be able to do this, and this is why I've kind of changed the set. Less of me, more TV. Check it out tonight at 7 o'clock EST. No guests. I'm just going to go for 60 minutes before Crowder at 8 and Gavin McInnes at 9. And I think tonight I might even be a caller. I'm going to try and get into the Gavin McInnes show again. Okay, back to Fox.
Bernie was the only one who said the most important question of all of the
still talking about the Democratic debates. 2
days
days ago, I've tuned in.
Will you abide by the rules? Do you think the party should abide by the rules for the convention? And Sanders was clear. He did not want to abide by the rules. And he thinks that
Two very isolated incidents where and it was only for a split second or a segment where they weren't talking 24/7 Orange Man bad. Ideological possession runs rampant. And, you know, I get a lot more objective news from Fox than I do CNN. CNN's all left-wing stuff. Bash, 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 hate, hate, hate. USA sucks. Yeah, we've got some serious issues in the States. Illegal immigration, health care, the health of the people, all kinds of opioids, suicide, the war on masculinity, the war on traditional families, the murdering of God. It's the foundations of our Judeo-Christian Western civilization. And all we want to do is impeach Trump. Like, we don't have time to fuck around. And that's what I put a clip up yesterday on Twitter where Trump is asked that question at the debate about calling women dogs. And he's like, only Rosie. He turned that thing around into a comedy bit. It was well supported by the people that were there. Was it a CNN town hall? Can't remember who was. I can't remember who the girl was that was asking the questions. But genius. And he just said, you know what? One of our biggest problems right now in the United States is political correctness. And amen. You know, I didn't know Trump before he was elected. I just said that I wasn't going to waste any of my hate on him. I wasn't going to create any new hate. I'm trying to dissolve the small amount of hate that I have. How do you measure hate? I see it everywhere. I'm one of the few people I know that really identifies with my hate. I get it. I know where it's placed. And I just made this deal that when Trump came in, I wasn't going to generate any new hate for him. I was going to move my hate from one place to another, and I wasn't going to generate any new hate for Donald J. Trump. And so as a result, I've given him some room to be himself and be objective about his policies and his failures and successes. And I am getting to like the man and his policies and his successes, and even his failures. I find them wildly entertaining. I'm getting to like him more all the time. I can't believe I'm saying that. I cannot believe I'm saying that, especially coming from a guy that spent so much of his time with a real hate on for Stephen Harper, who was right-wing. And I guess I don't disagree with everything conservative. In fact, I support some of the most important issues of the day, I think. This idea that you can kill a baby after birth, late-term abortion, not down with. The Democrats have gone so far radically left that I just can't identify with them anymore. I cannot get with the left anymore, even though I'm socially still left. Witness threats, just CNN just never stops. This trial is a hoax, a complete hoax. As Gavin McInnes said the other day, did you get an email from Julia Assange? No. Actually, you did. You lied. You're dead. We're taking you down. That's, I think, what it came down to. And if it was in the context and the guise
In Las Vegas this morning, he'll be attending a special
of a sham hoax investigation, then what are we even having this conversation for? What a waste of time. Kind of like the impeachment proceedings. And they're going to go after Barr now? And they're going to go after Trump again? To have him impeached again? It's just, what a complete waste of time. Get something done. Nothing's getting done because they're tying up the system with these phony investigations.
Wasting America's time.
Yep.
With the hoaxes
Agreed.
we've
See, listen to me.
killing terrorists, creating jobs, raising wages, enacting fair trade deals, securing our border, and lifting up citizens of every race, color, religion,
How can you argue with that?
and creed.
Nevada, of course, is an important
I had a guy in my men's group today say, well, yeah, what about the minorities? Minorities have never been in a better place. They've never had lower unemployment. Blacks, Asians, not Asians, Mexican. What do you call the Asians? Always do fine. Asians actually are some of our greatest immigrants. Resourceful, industriousness, industriousness as a personality trait. They don't need our help. They come to this country and they kick ass. I say this country like North America.
All right, John Roberts, thank you very much. Ed.
Thank you, Julie. Fox News alert as we await the sentencing of President Trump's longtime friend Roger Stone. This after the Justice Department, of course, overruled its prosecutors and called for less time in prison.
I want to see a tab collar on Roger Stone. Come on, bro.
A new round of sanctions against
I'm bringing back the tab collar. Look at this guy's collar. Your mom dressed you today?
Trump accuses two prominent
Stone
Democrats,
is kicking it,
former Secretary of
style-wise.
State John Kerry, of violating federal law and meeting with Iranian leaders.
John Kerry's making news these days. Get himself out there. So Fox, back and forth from Fox to CNN, and then I'm going to do some real estate work today. Oh, and
This Friday,
what do we got?
Buck, there's a lot to explore. Adventure is calling. Journey of a lifetime. The call of the wild.
We got an NFL Network. That's what we got when it's on commercials on Fox and CNN. I'm over-medicated today. I am so cranked on Bill Markham's coffee. Vibrating. Who needs speed, man? Coffee does it all for me. Oh, I think I'm about to release my I Did Speed Today interview. I Did Speed Today monologue. It's about 40 minutes where I'm actually so flushed and so blushed and so fucking completely wired on Adderall. I tried Adderall with the idea that maybe it'd help me to focus. Yeah. I'm not sure that I'm completely ADHD or hyperactive. I've always been kind of hyperactive as a kid. And I've got a lot to do, and I got a book that I want to finish. And I don't focus well. I jump from, I got a mind like an air traffic controller. I jump from task to task. And it's frustrating. Especially if you have a chore to do and you've got, it'll probably take me 30 to 90 days, depending on how much I focus on it. And so I dropped Adderall with the suggestion of my fiance, who I still haven't met yet. Oh, I'm going to fill you in on that tonight. I met a girl in the YouTube comments section. Bit. It's more than a bit. It's actually a pretty cool story. I met this girl, and yes, I'm sure it's a girl. I met her in the comments section of YouTube, and that is where we will be married. I finally skulked her enough with a source of her email to find a picture of her, and I'm not disappointed. And why is this such a horrible picture? You see, less of me, more TV. It's great. You can just see just this much of my body. It's great. Maybe I should turn the lights down over there. look much better, doesn't it? How's that? Is it any better? No. Let's try the brightness on this thing. Turn the brightness down maybe on the TV and we'll get a better picture for you. Menu? Picture, standard, where are we? Picture. Brightness. Let's see if we can control it. Why can't I control the brightness? Why can't I control the brightness? Dude. Power saving? Oh, is that better already? We'll see. Anyways, it's not perfection, but it's better than what I had. Until we get the until I get OBS working on my computer. Well, I need a new computer. I think that's even better, isn't it? Power saving mode. Oh, I'm gonna see Olivia today. Nice. My little 3-year-old girlfriend. Okay. Okay, so how long can they stretch this out to keep me here? Back to CNN. Oh, that's a better picture, huh? Adderall is good speed. Thanks, Farley. I don't know, man. Lock him up. He's going to get a pardon. Sorry, Joan. Sammersville. Farley. Yeah, I don't know that it works opposite on me. I think that like I had the kind of the clenched jaw at the end of the day, but that was after I had a drink and and I see that you can snort it. And somebody was talking about snorting it the other day, and I'm like, I was so scared to take this drug, and I thought to myself, you know what? With the amount of drugs that I've used recreationally, I can't believe that I am even worried about snorting a little Adderall. And I think it would hit you faster. I thought that when I took the Adderall, it would be bang, boom. I would be like a wave would come over me of this rush of energy. No, it was really stretched out over maybe 8 hours. Really. And then after I got high and had a couple drinks, I found that I was kind of clenching a little bit on my jaw, and I don't think I might not ever do it again. But Farley, I appreciate your. The audio's failing? Speaking of fail, check my cabling. Oh, hey now. Yeah, I had a loose connect. Thank you, crew. Timed release. Really? Yeah, well, if I snort it, I know I'm going to get a big blast, and I don't know that I'm ready for that. Anyways, I tried it thinking that it would settle me down and help me to focus, and I got a lot done that day, but I don't know if I need any more speed in my life. The mainstream media made me love Trump. Yeah, I think so, because they are so biased against him that I just want objectivity. Okay, if Trump sucks or he says something stupid or he supports a bad policy, I'm all for trashing him. But on the same hand, you got to give him credit when he does something good. Yeah, I try not to either. I get my news from Tim Pool pretty much. I watch a little bit of Shapiro, a Crowder every Thursday night. I watch every episode that Gavin McInnes has ever done, like for the last year. I've seen everything. Gavin McInnes is one of the funniest men on the planet, and he refused to bow to the political correctness. Yeah, I like Poole because, and he is a milquetoast fence sitter, and he's the first to admit that.
Murphy grossly violated the Logan Act with respect to Iran. If a Republican did what they did, there would be very serious ramifications.
There's never been a troll like President Trump. There never will be another troll as effective at trolling as President Donald J. Trump. He's the greatest troll ever. And what the mainstream media doesn't get is he has them eating out of their hand, out of his hand. Like he owns the mainstream media. Poole's not a grifter. He doesn't switch his positions just for money. Poole's making $300, $400, $500, $600 per video. That's how many people are looking at his stuff. He doesn't need to be a grifter. He's a grifter. A grifter, the way I understand it, is somebody that changes their position on something just for the fan or for the money or whatever. Poole calls it straight, man. I like Poole.
Yeah, Jim, stick with me.
No, he's making a lot more than $500,000 a year, I think. If you think,
Shimon, what are you thinking?
yeah, well, okay, so 1 million views is $1,000 on YouTube.
Exactly what the judge said. What today's about. It's the administration of justice.
I heard.
You have a president
Who said the other day?
the
Joe Rogan's making $300 to $400 million a year. Can you believe that?
And you have prosecutors with
That's
the Department of
unbelievably
Justice,
filthy.
Open court, on the record for all to hear, saying
Yeah,
that
he
the
is the master troller for sure.
is righteous,
And
that
I
the
appreciate it.
Department of Justice operates without
For
fear,
whatever reason,
favor,
I
or
appreciate the
political
trolling because I think I've become a better troll myself.
right? This case is not.
I
it's
need to
political from the
turn
beginning,
down
but to have
the
prosecutors,
picture
senior prosecutors
settings.
from the U.S. Attorney's
Why is
Office
it just
in
skipping?
Washington,
Advanced?
to have to come in and explain this in open court.
Noise reduction,
I think Jim is right. This is a solid
video.
It's an
Why
important
can't
day
I seem
for
to
the
get my
Department of Justice, because
video
this is the way
settings
they're
up
gonna
here?
communicate. Certainly, the line prosecutors. This is the way they choose to communicate in a court of law.
Back to
before,
Fox. Thanks for checking us out. And the
Is Social Security bankrupt?
the conversation.
28 years old, that there's not
You
gonna
guys
be
are.
Social
Some of
Security
you are coming back
problem.
over and
Is
over,
a pension crisis about to strike?
and the conversation's been good. Loyalty's good. I like seeing you guys out here. There's some of your comments are becoming some of my favorites in the comment section. I don't get a chance to read them all or get to them all, but I think I might spend some time today actually responding to some, or at least reading some, because I love the hate. John Kofi. It's very immature behavior, and Trump is 73 years old. He's never going to change. He will always be swamp. TDS is fatal. Yeah, lots of yes, Bob K. Lots of bullying on the Democratic stage last night, and coming from Bloomberg, I kind of was cheering him on a little bit, because anybody that takes a socialist out is good in my books. And the socialists are getting too much power, too much fame, too much mainstream love. I'm not a Kool-Aid drinker. I like to think I'm objective as possible. And I think that just the fact that I'm giving Trump the time of day right now speaks to my objectivity, because I'm a lefty. I'm a 10-time Green Party candidate. Well, not exactly 10, but 7 or 8. I'm a 10-time candidate. Maybe 7 or 8 times for the Greens. And that's as left as it comes. But I'm not 24 anymore, and I don't believe what I used to believe when it comes to late-term abortion, when it comes to guns, when it comes to immigration, when it comes to the fact that our minorities and women are oppressed every single day that they experience racism. Bullshit. Bullshit. But when I look at the TDS, it's overwhelming to look. No, I hate Trudeau. Poop slap. Hate is a strong word. Bernie is not winning. He's going to get his nomination ripped from him there, Kofi. The swamp hanging on Trump's shoulders. Trump keep on sinking. I don't know what you're talking about there, Kofi. Burnout somehow gets elected. Open warfare will immediately ensue. Yeah, do you see that the mainstream media will not discuss the Bernie bros that are, communist supporters? Trump keep winning, loser. Look around. Kofi, come on, man. Trump is not losing ground rapidly. He's going to be elected again. And then, you know what might happen? Don Jr. will take over for another 2 terms. You'll have Trump for 16 years in the States. Is the audio better? I hope. I had a cabling issue. Yes, you're right. Thanks, Kofi. I don't know if it's better now or not. My mic seems disconnected, sometimes perfect. I'm not sure. Your mic's static when you move it. Oh, okay, good. Okay, good. Thank you, Ernie. Yeah, I've been moving it around, and my connection was shit. The boss cannot be stopped. Anyway. Who thinks Roger Stone's going to get a pardon? After he gets what? What are they going to give him? 4 years is Gavin McInnes's guess. Because that seems to, the Proud Boys got 4 years for a trumped-up charge. I hate to say trumped-up charge, but they defended themselves against Antifa too well. And the DNC, even though it was a victimless crime, the Antifa members that got beat up after they ambushed the Proud Boys, who are racist bigots, obviously, even though they're married to, one, John is married to a black woman, and they have a black child together, Liberty. What is it? Support Liberty? Oh, I should have that. Check out Gavin McInnes on Telegram if you want his latest stuff. Back and forth, CNN, Fox, and we're on. So Farley, Mobe, and John Kofi are going at it in the comment section. I like it.
Moments ago, the judge mentioned Stone violating previous court orders.
So here's something I learned from Crowder. Back up to the point where we agree. When you've got somebody that you're ideologically opposed to and you have a debate on a certain issue, can we back up to a point of agreement and then move forward slowly until the fork in the road starts? For instance, on the abortion issue, I say no late-term abortions, nothing past 6 months. I think even the most pro-choice supporters would agree you shouldn't be able to get an abortion after 6 months. Crowder, and we don't have a law against it in Canada, Crowder actually videotaped. With a hidden camera at Planned Parenthood, an 8-month pregnant woman that was going in for abortion against the will of her husband. They had 2 kids already, and she just didn't feel like it was convenient for her to have another one. How do you explain that one? Oh, yeah, I was pregnant yesterday, and today, not so much. Worry about yourself? No uterus, no opinion? Fuck that. John Kofi, here's a weird thing that Trumpers don't understand. Trump has been the swamp in his entire life, and friends in the swamp, Hillary, him, big buddies. Then Trump runs for president and claims he isn't the swamp. I don't see Trump as ever being an establishment guy. And for me, the swamp is establishment. So Trump has never been he's always been on the outside. So when he got power, he became the kid that was always on the outside, not the target of bullying or something like that, but I don't want to use that as an analogy. But he was always on the outside looking in, i.e., when you remember when he tried to buy the New York Giants or whatever, and the NFL pushed him out. What do you think he's got? He's got so many issues with the NFL because he's never been an establishment guy. I don't want more establishment guys, and that's why I think it's refreshing to watch Trump. I've been totally scammed by Trump. John, welcome aboard, man. I appreciate your thoughts, but no. You're drunk on the MSN fake news. I am really cognizant and very hyper aware. Stop moving the mic. Of the MSN. The MSN. I'm going to have to get a new cable. The mainstream media's complete lack of objectivity. We're coming back tonight, 7 p.m. EST. We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about my engagement to an online woman I've never met. Yes, we're getting married. In the comments section of YouTube, Gavin McInnes will officiate. Ryan Katzus-Rivera will be the flower girl as Trump in character. Hashtag Claudia. Yeah, I met her in the comments section. So I'm going to give you an update on my fiance. Yes, I'm getting married. Pretty geeked. Young, too. Young, fertile, never married, with no kids. Right up my alley. Especially the fertile part. Maybe she's watching right now. There's a time difference where she is. Stop moving the mic. I used to be an air traffic controller. I think that goes back to I have a mind like an air traffic controller, and I thought that doing Adderall would give me a little bit more stability from that. Not sure it works so much on that. I may try it again. I might never. What is it about Asian women I love so much? The shape of their eyes, their tininess, their. But my fiance told me the other day, and it's kind of probably not a popular opinion or take, but that the Asian woman white man relationship is one of the most toxic and violent known. And they make bad children. On the other hand, white woman Asian guy is a great relationship apparently. Imagine. Can't say that though. That's racist and bigoted. Well, Adderall is good speed. Oh yeah, dextromethorphan. That's exactly it. And yes. Oh, now I'm reading over the comments again. Lord of all trolls. I'm enjoying the president as a troll, especially because he's an anti-establishment guy. Pool is a little bit long-winded. Clowntastic Ninja, thank you. And he stutters way too much for me, but he's not a professional broadcaster, so I'll give him the room for that. I mean, I guess he is a professional broadcaster, but he's not employed like this girl is. If this girl's like and stuttering all the time, I'm like, well, get rid of her. She's not good. So I will cut Tim Pool a little bit of grace and slack to be himself because he's not employed by a media outlet. Therefore, he doesn't need to be a Tucker Carlson. I find Tucker Carlson, whether you agree with his politics or not, to be one of the best broadcasters known. He never flubs. He never misspeaks. He hardly ever mumbles his words. I thought I might have heard a little bit of a mumble last night. I was watching a clip, and I'm not a steady watcher. I've been trying to watch him lately because, frankly, I like him. I think he's one of the best broadcasters we have, regardless of his politics. CNN and Fox, it sounds like they're just in a holding pattern, just killing time.
I just want to be very clear about that. But everyone on that stage, they want to make sure that we are expanding access to health care, and that is what is important.
You're talking about supporting the nominee when you get one.
Yeah,
How you get
you're right,
there,
Farley.
though,
Rogan does have a lot of other gigs. But he's making a shitload of money from that podcast, like hundreds of millions of dollars a year.
In Milwaukee, one Democrat who worked on 2 campaigns for former President Obama called a brokered convention, quote, the biggest nightmare Democrats can
The brokered convention. Now, I'm just learning about American politics, and it seems like that's what we're heading into because it's the only way they can get the nomination away from Bernie, I think. The DNC seems to be corrupt as corrupt can be. They already fucked Bernie once for his nomination. It looks like they're going to do it again, and the easiest way is to go to a brokered convention as far as I can tell. Am I right on that? Okay, I think I've caught up with the comments. John Kofi. I can't keep up to you guys. Oh, Bob's in on it now. Oh, it's time for you to call me a racist. If you disagree with me, then you're immediately a homophobic, racist bigot. Duh. That's the left. That's the left for you right now. That's their only tactic. And yesterday I was blocked on Facebook by a girl that I don't know and said that she blocks willful ignorance and racism. Boom, I was gone. Thank you very little. Cheryl Lynn Peacock. Fuck you very much. And Farley, was he a good guy? You met Tim in person? And did you try and take off his hat? That'll get you punched in the mouth. I think he likes the fact that he's bald. I just grew this back. I've been bald all summer, and I have enough hair that I gelled it today. And I'm getting a haircut soon. I'll get the line carved right down here, and I'll get the side swoop. I'm looking forward to having hair again. I'm looking for a listing on the lake in Niagara. It doesn't have to have access. It doesn't have to be on the water. It needs to be. It doesn't have to go into the water. It needs to be lakefront from all intents and purposes. But if you know somebody that lives on Lake Erie or Lake Ontario in the Niagara region between Grimsby and Niagara-on-the-Lake, probably between Waynfleet and Fort Erie on Lake Erie's shore. It'll be the North Shore of Lake Erie, South Shore of Lake Ontario, anywhere in the Niagara region on the lake. Water, yes, but it's got to be lakefront. Oh, no, I can't even watch. Can't even watch. Missing since Boxing Day. Oh, I can't do it. Who is this woman? MJ Lee. I'm going to follow her. Look at that face. Look at those dimples. Look at that mouth and that face. Oh, my goodness. What is she, Chinese? Japanese? I used to know the difference. Lee. I don't know. It's got to be Chinese. Beautiful women. Right, back to some comments. Bankers are running the world. Bob. Bob.
I'm actually less concerned about the lack of transparency in Sanders' personal health.
John, you're making a good point there. It's really easy, guys. Don't take a side. Take a step back. The system both parties are fighting over is corrupt. I agree with that. Both parties are corrupt. Both have to work against the tools the system has to offer. Are you getting it? I agree with that. Lee, Chinese. Thanks, Farley. I'm more a fan of the Japanese, it seems. Is that racist?
Look, Bernie Sanders had a good night last night.
And is it racist that I like the look of Asian women? What is it that I don't know. I don't think I'm different from very many other white men that seem to have this fascination with the Asian race as far as women go.
It can be devastating when you learn that the person who gave you.
Now, I've never had an Asian woman even close to me. I've got a friend in the States that's a Japanese-American hybrid, half-breed. Can you say that? Is that good? Is that cool? Is that racist? And she's got one of the most beautiful faces I've ever seen. A friend of mine in California. So I was always like, you know what? Japanese, American, mix. For a woman, beautiful face.
Good to see you guys. Thank you so
and
much.
if I'm going by
So how does Bernie Sanders think
Portuguese, Japanese, is it Portuguese? What's Ryan Ketsu Rivera? He's handsome. Oh, how long are they going to stretch this out for? No idea, man. We smell funny to the Japanese. My mother used to say that. Like blacks do to us. Wow, that's so racist. Yeah, Puerto Rican, that's right. Puerto Rican Japanese. Ryan Katsu Rivera does some of the greatest impressions. He does, who's the comedian? Bill Burr. Oh, I love his Bill Burr. I love his Donald Trump. He does 80s Trump and 2020 Trump. He does a great Bill Burr. He does a great Owen Benjamin. He does a great, who's the, I don't even know what his nationality is. The brown guy. Oh, it'll come to me. Dude. Come on, Farley, help me out here. Who's the guy that they mock? And they don't mock. They make fun of everyone, but he's a supporter. He's done an interview with him. Dude. Ryan is the most underrated fatherless Japanese Puerto Rican podcast assistant comment out there. Dude. Yeah, oh, it was just on my tongue. Danish. Danish. Dude. Oh, Farley, help me out here. You'll know it. Yeah, I love Ryan Katsu Rivera. So I'll be back here 7 p.m. tonight with more of this blathering. No guests. Just I was talking about the issues of the day. I'll work it out for myself because I'm confused. I'm not coming here because I know the answers. I certainly have a take. I want to believe that it's based in education and fact. I'm a former lefty. I don't believe the things I used to believe. It's been a hard shift to the right. It's been a very uncomfortable process going away from my beliefs. I'm a pretty loyal guy. I didn't realize that I was loyal also to my ideas and my beliefs, and it's hurt. It's hurt me a lot in my change of thoughts and beliefs, and especially because my friends will look at me and go, I thought I knew you. I didn't know you were a bigot. You can't support Trump without being called names. You can't even support Trump's policies. Dinesh Souza, that's it. Thanks, Dan. This impression of Dinesh Souza is awesome. I've got some up here, some of his impressions.
You can see a live look outside the courthouse in Washington, where we're waiting any moment now the sentencing of Roger Stone.
What's your take? What do you think he's going to get? McKinnon says 4 years because that's what Proud Boys got. And it seems like if you're a Trump supporter, that's what you get for bullshit crimes, like defending yourself against an Antifa ambush, like lying to the FBI when they said, did you get an email from Julian Assange? No, I didn't. Liar! We have your emails right here. You're going to jail. Is that what happened?
And we'll get the sentence once we have it. We'll bring it live.
I don't think so. And who cares? Bob, I don't know who Q is. There's so many Q accounts out there. Like, how do you, I used to have an account that was really big that I was talking to this guy who claimed to be Q, but I think Q is a community, isn't it?
Joining us now, Kat Timpf, reporter at National Review and Fox News contributor. You and I have both had our fair share of bad dates. Yeah.
Oh, hi. I like librarians.
Was this a good date or a bad date? I mean, what happened between these two? It's actually the timing was just flawless.
Absolutely. I feel like it's probably was a good date because
Oh, Kat Timpf. I follow you on Twitter. Pretty face. Love the glasses. Speaking of glasses, where's mine? I guess I don't need them all that much. So, yeah, we're back here tonight, 7 p.m. EST for a 60-minute quick hit. It's going to be, if you notice, my videos are never edited. It's always live to air or it's always live to tape, and there's no editing. I don't do these jump cuts. I think that's hideous. Although I think I should try a jump cut, a video just full of jump cuts, just boom, 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 because I think it'll be a lot less of me wandering around the issue, because I really do that well in the conversations. I do a lot of wandering, and I always come back to the issue if I don't forget it.
Just as a little reminder to stupid criminals out there that when you do something like this in public,
Yes, Q, Black Lives Matter, Antifa, etc. All these groups will start small and then magnified by MSM. So we have to talk. We have to. More crap to talk about instead of real news and facts. Amen, dude. I didn't know that Black Lives Matter was founded on the lie that black cops are indiscriminately and disproportionately murdering black people, white cops. Did I say black? I didn't know that this whole I didn't really look into it, what Black Lives Matter was. But when Colin Kaepernick started kneeling down, I started paying a little bit of attention. Fuck Colin Kaepernick, you piece of crap. No problem about the typos, man. This is not a spelling bee. John, Kofi, I appreciate your conversation, even though it sounds like we disagreed just about on anything. It's cool that you're here and cool that you're working it out. Is it John? Yeah. Politics screws people's something. Q is a community. Cool. Yeah, I thought so. Well, I thought Q was Trump. Whoever Q is seems to have an inside line on some stuff, no? Q is a back channel to the top U.S. military. See, and this is why I come here. I don't... Oh, Q plus is Trump. Cool. See, I don't come here with the idea that I know everything. I'm going to teach you guys everything. I come here with the idea that I've got a lot of questions and I don't know a lot about stuff, and I'm looking for answers.
Former fiancée, Amy Harwick, is facing murder charges this morning. She was a prominent therapist in Hollywood. Fox News legal analyst Mercedes Cowan will break the case down for us. That is next.
So many issues, and all we're talking about is Orange Man bad.
Yeah, look, that would be presumptuous, and Bernie Sanders is not a presumptuous.
Poor Bernie.
Candidate.
You know what? Last election, 2016, I was still left enough, and Bernie was still moderate enough that I would have voted Bernie if he had been the candidate. I never could vote for Hillary Clinton. What a scumbag she is. But I wouldn't have been a Trump supporter, I don't think. And over the last 4 years, I've swung a little right. I still consider myself a moderate, center-right positioned. Especially the most important issues for me are free speech, number one. Number two, for me, fatherlessness and the loss of the traditional family. I think this is why our kids are mentored by gangs now. Thank you, John. I appreciate that. I got more answers. I got more questions than answers, too. And so this is, and you know what? I appreciate the traffic today. I don't usually get a whole lot of traffic on my live feeds. So I appreciate that, there's 17 or so of you guys out here right now. And there's a decent conversation going on here because, John, I disagree with most people. It's okay. Oh, no, what happened? What happened? Yeah, and this is, I don't learn anything when I sit with people that have the same belief systems as I do. Nothing. In fact, I talked to a guy at Landmark Forum, Landmark Education the other day, and he's like, I was telling him, I was course leader support, and I fell on my face, and I got reassigned, and I was complete failure. And I learned more about myself that weekend that I have in a long time. And it's almost like if you stand in the box and you hit a home run, you're learning nothing about your game. If you strike out for a year in a row, you're learning something about your own personality. So it's almost like you go into it like, oh, I hope I fail today. Not. John, I appreciate that. I like the idea of that come from Jordan Peterson's 12 rules for life. I think one of them is assume that the person you're talking to knows more than you do. And that's easy for me, even though I think I'm pretty bright. I'm not a surface. Oh, my flag's completely bent. I'm not a surface level guy. I care, and I get deep into philosophy. I get deep into politics, and it doesn't look like am I even streaming anymore? Anyways, pray for Jordan Peterson if you care. Guy's going through some bad times. He's in Russia. He should be home this week, I think, coming back down off of benzo physical dependency. Which I'm not sure what the difference is between that and addiction. But, man, benzo, I'm not fucking around with Valium as much as I used to. I get so fucking wound up. Drop Valium. I think Valium is in the same benzo class. It's like a cousin of Valium. Listen to me talking about dropping pills. So what do you think he's going to get? You guys are unbelievable. What's your POV? Oh, point of view. Okay, it's extremely radical. That's far from the norm, but you know what? I just find that the left is a lot more radical than the right. So I appreciate your comments here. I appreciate your conversations. I appreciate your debates. And the interaction. That's cool. I'm seeing a few of the same people coming out to the comment section, which is kind of cool. And I don't have as many of those people that come to my wall on Facebook, and it's like soon as I see Mark or Phil or whoever, some of my so-called friends comment on a Facebook post, I know exactly what's coming. I don't it's like, oh, I get a notification. I don't even want to go check it because I know what's coming, and it's always very frustrating for me.
All too well the perils of domestic violence, so it's really tragic. And what was so unfortunate about these circumstances is that Dr. Horowitz
Who are we talking about now?
what she needed to do. She went to law enforcement. She went and got a restraining order. The restraining order lapsed.
Well, I'm just going to let you guys work that out.
This is a relationship.
Tucker Carlson is great. He's just
It was documented well.
I don't know. Well, fuck. You think that's funny, Dr. Meat Dick? You're funny. You name one broadcaster that's better. And look at Tim Pool as an example. Stuttering. And it's complicated. He uses the same words over time. I like Tim Pool a lot, and I give him a lot of room because he's not a professional broadcaster. I guess in some respects he is. But Tucker Carlson just never fumbles. I guess Anderson Cooper's similar to that. He, solid broadcaster, doesn't make many gaffes on air. Is ideologically possessed. A little.
Were there some other problems in terms of, do you think...
No Googling.
Law enforcement should have known more once she called in that she was concerned? Does it look
Anyways,
like
you guys are going off.
some missed signs, or is this
Having a debate all on your own, that's fine.
And there was nothing to do to prevent the tragedy?
I'm totally out of the conversation about monetary systems.
I don't think that there's enough seriousness taken with respect.
How do I find Q's, like, if Q's a community, I guess he doesn't have a main account. Okay, so we're waiting for the Roger Stone verdict to come down. Switching back and forth between Fox and CNN. CNN I find to be just basically Orange Man bad over and over and over.
Taking the other side, of course, law enforcement is going to defend themselves and say...
realestate@teamniagara.ca. If you've got questions or contact, you can shoot me an email there. If you've got a tip for a Niagara property that is lakefront, I need it. It's a little bit of a shot in the dark, only because I'm working with a particular buyer, and I mean particular from the standpoint that they're not just buying anything. Money's no issue. Time is not so much of a concern because I've been looking for some time. I need something that is on the lake, preferably Lake Ontario between Grimsby and Niagara Lake. That's on the south shore of pristine Lake Ontario, one of the Great Lakes. They will go to Lake Erie, to the north shore of Lake Erie, between, I don't know, Fort Erie and Wainfleet.
It is, but thankfully there's a change in the law.
Oh, Bob, Farley, and John
It's called Conrad's Law. Right now,
are going at it. It's good. Good to see. And I'm glad to see that you guys are keeping it civil. There's nothing worse than going to the name calling right off the bat. You know what I mean? Can we just disagree and have a good conversation and go for beers later instead of hate each other? I know. Group hug. Back to CNN, see if they're out of commercial yet. Kate Baldwin? Is it Kate?
Okay, this is the beginning of what will ultimately be the sentence, although we don't know at this point what the sentence will be. Judge Amy Berman Jackson kicked this off, returning after a break, saying, unsurprisingly, I have a lot to say, and she's in the process of saying it right now. She's really starting.
We need cameras in the courtroom.
About Roger Stone's activities, and then going into everything
hang on a
that
second.
happened
I thought in the
since
States we had
then.
cameras in the courtroom.
One of the points that she was careful to make was that this was not something that came up because even though the
OJ
president
was
has said
televised.
this, others in the president's orbit
How come they
have
don't
said
have cameras in the courtroom
this was
now?
not a matter of prosecutors just looking to target
Because it's a
allies
district
of
court.
President Trump. The judge said this.
Smarty pants
This
out there.
case did
You
not
guys,
arise
what's up?
because
How come
Roger
we
Stone
don't have
pursued by his
cameras in the
political
courtroom?
enemies.
And
It
why is my
arose
video
because
feed
Roger
locked
Stone
up?
characteristically interjected himself smack into the middle of one of the most significant issues of the day. You know, she goes on to talk about how he was talking very publicly about being in touch with WikiLeaks, and now she's starting to run through the things that Roger Stone told to Congress. So
I guess I'm going to have to switch phones. I'm down to 10% battery life because my iPhone 7 is a piece of shit. And the guy that I went to in town here that said that he was going to put a new battery in my phone didn't do it or put garbage in my phone. What is with these fucking guys, these pop-up shops? I would never go to another dealer that's not authorized Apple dealer. So only for hearings in the public interest. Isn't every case in the public interest? Oh. The people versus OJ. Thanks, Dr. Meat Dick. Come on, man. How can you take anyone seriously with the screen name Dr. Meat Dick? Dude. Okay. Agreed. How about the Proud Boys when the DNC brought the charges and there was no victim?
Everything that you're hearing is
And
she's leading up to actually handing down.
wow, it was just a rigged. It's just a totally rigged process. And what the fuck is with my... What is with my video? Is lagging huge. Okay, so I gotta switch cameras. I'll come back later. It's 11:56 EST. Thanks for hanging out. And thanks for the discussion. Back at 7 p.m. EST right here for 60 minutes before Crowder at 8. McInnes at 9. That's my Thursday night gig. And we just go through just 60 minutes.
His opinions as to the sentencing has nothing to do with any political pressure. It's absolutely critical. Obviously, it's not helpful
Stone
that the president has stepped forward and
is
tweeted
convicted
about this particular circumstances. It
in a
certainly
sham.
puts Attorney General Barr's
If it wasn't for the DNC
objectivity in question and puts
and
him in
these
the crosshairs
fake
of it, but it's
hoax
absolutely essential
investigations,
for Attorney General Barr
this
to
man
look
would
that
have
he's
never been
partial
interviewed
and
by
not
the
being
FBI.
affected in
And so
any
what if he
way
did tell
by the
Julian
executive
Assange to
branch of
release the
government?
details?
And
Everyone
the
wanted the
Attorney
details of the
General
emails
doing the right
released.
thing by saying, let's just focus
Roger Stone is one of the most brilliant political minds, I think, ever, from what I know. Kingmaker. All right, so back at 7 p.m. I'm going to switch phones maybe and come back to the feed. Sorry to chop you guys, but this is what I get. I get about an hour's worth of time on this iPhone 7. So, Echo, welcome. Dr. Meat Dick, welcome. Bob K, John Kofi, Farley Mobe. You guys have had a really cool discussion. I look forward to coming back and seeing what you guys were all talking about. Appreciate the information on Q. Dan Albanese. Nice to meet you. Dr. Meat Dick, you've been on for a while, eh? So I'm going to take a quick break. Maybe pound another coffee or maybe I'll snort an Adderall. Imagine. Come back and my eyes would be bugged out like this. I got pink dust coming down my nose. Check my cabling again. There's that. No, that was before. Okay. Dude, he's not going to jail. Dr. Meat Dick. Gavin does them all the time, yeah? Maybe that's why you can recognize. He was claiming that, you know what, Dr. Meat Dick? Fuck you. It's my channel. I'll say whatever I want. If you don't like it, don't come by. I got to take. I don't think it sucks. And you can disagree with me if you want. Doesn't mean I don't think you don't suck. You clowny. Back to CNN. All right, Dr. Meat Dick. That's for you, Dr. Meat Dick. What will you do? Right, brother.